Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone. Today, Chris and I have a very special guest on with us, Ryan Cramer from Ping Pong Payments. Ryan, how you doing?
What's up, everyone? I'm doing all right. It's a nice day. It's like 80 degrees here in Indiana. Not many people out there, I'm assuming, are from Indiana that are listening to this, so I'm going to tell you what it's like here.
Well, we're right down the road from you. We're in Kansas City, and it is 80 degrees here as well today. And yesterday was like 40, and tomorrow is supposed to be 40.
And we're supposed to get snow on Monday, like 3 inches.
Yeah,
Guys, the Midwest is pretty terrible in that capacity. Like, all my colleagues in California, they're pretty like, oh my gosh, it's 75 degrees all year round. I'm like, that must suck for you.
yeah,
Like, let me know when it snows.
yeah.
Or sleets or whatever.
It's about to be a frozen tundra here, and then in no time. So
God.
that's fine. Well, we're glad to have you on, Ryan. Thanks for taking the time out to do this.
For sure.
This will be a lot of fun. So, Ryan, you're with Ping Pong Payments. Just to get started, why don't you tell us about yourself? Tell us how'd you get into the Amazon space? How'd you get in with Ping Pong, etc.
Yeah, for sure. So my background is super unique. I first and foremost tout people and tell them I am not an Amazon seller. So I just get that out of the way really quickly. Not a bad thing, but I have a super unique background that I like to share with people. So out of college, I used to work for a newspaper company in Evansville, Indiana, which is where I went to school. I did digital marketing, like new business sales, basically, like door to door, like pick a business card. This was, back in 2012. Good door to door collecting business solutions or business cards and telling people, hey, like we can do digital banners. We can put you on monster.com, like your hiring process. Like, my gosh, it sounds ridiculous even talking about that. SEM solutions, SEO solutions. And that was kind of the first like integration into the digital world. I did that for about like 2 years or so, and then was laid off. Newspaper company, the subscriptions, just like any company would. So I was laid off in my first job out of college, so I was over one. I had no idea what I was going to do. I was engaged at the time. My fiance at that time was actually in Connecticut, doing her practicum and internship to graduate college and get her degree in music therapy. So we were like, what do we do? We get married in 5 months. She was just finishing up. That was like right around Christmas time of 2014. And so she was lucky enough. She had been applying to jobs and got like a job instantaneously in Virginia, I was like, all right, looks like we're going to be moving to Virginia. Didn't have a job, so we were young and about to get married, so we decided to start there. I actually landed at a company that's they're called Evergreen Enterprises, which them as a umbrella company own like Plow and Hearth and a bunch of brands that are home gift garden items. So they manufacture their goods over in China, and then they distribute them here in the United States to like home gift garden retail stores in Canada, Europe, United States. Garden flags are the big ones. So if you go to like Ace Hardware or these little shops, you see like a garden gnome with a college logo on it. They manufactured that. If you see like they would actually send their goods to like Wayfair, Zulily, sold on Amazon, which is kind of part of the team that I was with. We built out our own B2C website and built our own brand from scratch, selling goods directly to consumers. So that's where I got the introduction to selling online. My job was an affiliate manager, which is a job I currently hold today, but wore many hats. So I was like building landing pages, doing deals with like Ebates at the time, now Rakuten, like bradsdeals.com, Slick Deals, like all these deal sites where a lot of people get deals on goods. Mm-hmm. I was basically operating those for our company at 10,000 SKUs. There's a lot of different, what should we put online? What's seasonal? And I feel like it was almost basically doing what Amazon sellers do. Like, what are the trends? What are people looking for? What kind of price point is the sweet spot? So on and so forth. So I kind of had my own like little e-commerce team around me. We're all learning from each other. Fast forward a couple of years, was successful at that. And I moved back to Indiana to be closer to family. My wife is from Ohio, I'm Indiana, so it was either Cleveland or Indy. Those are our options, and not many grand like cities, but Cleveland or Indy. We're gonna find whoever gets the job first. So she got a job again quickly. Not a lot of e-commerce at the time was being like propped up in indie companies. So I actually ended up working for the Indiana Pacers and Indiana Fever, the NBA and WNBA teams for I want to say 3 seasons or 3+ seasons in the event space. So it was like a lot of relationship management, ticket sales, doing like in-person meetings with people, a lot of entertaining at games, which is super different than e-commerce world. But it's obviously a season, it's super long. You can schedule things out. Very interesting, but my heart was always trying to find where I could land in the e-commerce game. So for most of you out there who know like the company Viral Launch, who's still a prominent player in the space helping beginner sellers sell on Amazon, they're located here in Indianapolis. So I had been following Casey Goss, who's the founder of the Viral Launch, pretty closely because they were winning all sorts of awards. I was tied into the tech scene. I was like, man, this company seems, they seem to get it. They know what they're talking about. And so they had posted a position for affiliate marketing and partnerships manager. I was like, hey, I can sell myself on this and get back into the space. Casey was awesome to talk to. The team was great. They were growing quite rapidly, and I was able to hop on with them, even though I was out of the game for 3 years or so, but I was still up to date on all the efforts. So my job was to work with Casey, work with the marketing team, working with the sales team to, how can Viral Launch market themselves? Fast forward 10 months, I got a great opportunity presented itself to me with Ping Pong. And I was recruited over here to help lead the partnerships and affiliate marketing team and kind of where I am today. So kind of carved my own little niche out here in affiliate marketing, but like I call it more content marketing and management with people. And so I've jumped into the wholesale game, the B2C game. I've done SaaS. Now I'm doing fintech. So a little bit of everything, but all revolves around e-commerce. So long-winded answer. That's my background. It's super unique. I've learned a lot from the partnerships and working with different individuals in the space. I just absorb it in. By definition, I just like to learn. And so I think that's part of this game is you're constantly learning, you're constantly evolving, you're marketing yourself, an idea or a product always. So marketing in general in the space is constantly being evolving. So yeah, that's where I'm at today.
That's crazy how things go full circle, like just back around and now you're
For
back
sure.
in. You touched on it a little bit about your role at Ping Pong, but let's go a little bit deeper. What exactly is your role at Ping Pong, and what exactly does Ping Pong do for Amazon sellers, and why would they use it?
Yeah, for sure. So Ping Pong, by definition, is a cross-border payments company. You would think of other companies out there like a Payoneer or TransferWise. Ping Pong is still technically a startup. We've been around for about 6 years or so. Started in New York, moved to California, and then they moved the international headquarters over to China. They grew so rapidly over there as a cross-border payment solution and basically helping Amazon sellers and e-commerce sellers save more money when they're moving money across different borders. By definition, that's what a cross-border payment solution would be. And I can go in more definition, but they've grown to multiple marketplaces. We've grown into multiple marketplaces in the United States. We're in San Mateo, we're in New York. Obviously, I'm in Indiana still, so a lot of people are remote still. But the company has offices in China, multiple China offices, Japan, I want to say Luxembourg, India. We're located all over the world, and we're backed by some major tier 1 banks that help us save sellers like you guys when you're selling internationally. So, but I can get into more like what we do, kind of what our products are. They're pretty simple, but they're definitely effective. I always say they're not like sexy by definition, but they're definitely useful and they're definitely helpful by saving people money. And that in itself is a number one solution why you should use us. So if you want me to go into that, I can definitely do that. But I'm the affiliate marketing manager. It's my job to connect with service providers and educators like you guys in the space to talk about like how we can help people, but also elaborate on partnerships and help everyone understand where you need to go to learn these kinds of tips and tricks or just like solutions that you have problems with. So pointing them in the right direction and then building a brand for us since we're so young in the United States.
So this is fascinating to me because as a seller and seeing that Amazon's growing, I mean, the marketplace is now worldwide. Just the opportunities are phenomenal. A lot of those marketplaces as a seller are less competitive in the United States.
Right.
So there's a real attractiveness to get into those markets. I've dabbled. So I've sent inventory into the Canada, sold there, sent some into the UK. But I was overwhelmed with the process. For me, like trying to register my business in those countries, trying to open up bank accounts, figuring out what, there's all these different requirements, and the requirements are constantly changing, what you have to do. Amazon's making some things a little easier. But for me, as a seller, if I join with Ping Pong, what is that process? What would that look like? And as a seller who's not using Ping Pong, what are the challenges I would face that Ping Pong could solve?
Yeah, for sure. Good question. So as most people know, I'm assuming like lots of people are here in the United States, but internationally, if you're selling in a different marketplace other than your current one that you live in, like for example, if I'm selling in Europe only and I'm living in the United States, there's already a significant disconnect. You have different currencies that you're operating in. So if I'm selling in an international marketplace, Amazon's going to pay me in that marketplace. So if I'm selling in Europe, I'm going to be receiving euros. If I'm going to sell in United Kingdom or Britain, I'm going to get British sterling. Like those are currencies that Amazon will send you to your bank account that you have loaded into your Seller Central account. Like that's a fact. What a lot of people don't understand is that that's what happens. And so right away you're like, well, this is kind of useless for me to operate if I'm a seller in the United States. I want to like feed my family, or I want to, pay my employees, or I want to pay myself. Like that money needs to come back to my own currency. So how do I do that? Amazon by already does that. It's a simple process. It's already built in. They will do that transaction and that currency exchange for you. Now, with anything that Amazon does, even though it's simple, it may not be the most cost-effective solution, right? So it can be anywhere from 4, 5, 6% that each seller is paying percentage-wise of that fee of the money that they're moving back over. So obviously, like if you move $100 to USD from Euro and your percentage is 6%, you're losing $6 just because Amazon's moving that money for you. It's still your money, but they're taking that like convenience of moving that money back to you so that you can have access to it. Well, also kind of backing up why Ping Pong found this kind of niche for sellers is, you're right. When you wanted to sell in different marketplaces internationally, you would actually have to go to those countries, or go to China, go to India, or go to Australia. You'd have to open a bank account in person. You'd have to show all your documentation, like, hey, I'm a legitimate person, I'm a legitimate business entity, give me a bank account so I can have everything be sent there. And then you have, if you're a big enough seller, you have 10 different or 12 different, bank accounts that you're operating, constantly logging in, seeing what's doing what. It's so discombobulated. What we did is we developed almost like a digital wallet, a virtual wallet that eliminates that ability to, you don't have to go overseas now to establish yourself. We would create that virtual wallet for yourself, that virtual bank account in that currency that you're going to be operating in. So we actually, there's 10 different currencies you can make withdrawals under, like obviously the USD, Mexican peso, the Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, so on and so forth. It's all on our website, Ping Pong Payments, or find us and obviously Google us. But you can't get access to that money most often than not if it's all over the place. We've consolidated everything so that you can either exchange it into a different currency or you can withdraw it at a very low rate. And so by working with those banks all over the world, you would be no more than paying 1% transaction fee. So right there, if Amazon's doing 4, 5, 6% and we're doing no more than 1%, you're obviously saving 3% on, if you're a big seller, that's thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars you're just getting back and keeping in your own pocket. So right there is a value add. So that's if you're selling internationally. If you're selling just in the United States, or if you're selling in one currency or one marketplace, I should say, that's also something that we can help with, because we have something called supplier pay. Everyone's sourcing their products from different parts of the country, whether it's India, China, wherever. Most often it's going to be overseas, wherever you're located. If you're paying your supplier, a lot of the communication is done through WeChat. They send you an invoice, you're wiring them money, and you never know. Like, I'm assuming, I've heard horror stories, and maybe you guys can test, like just the utter heart attack that you have when you send them a blank, like almost like a 6-figure check for goods that you want them to produce, send back to Amazon factory, and then that process, if they haven't received the money, or if your money's just like sent through a wire, it's gone. Like you have no tracking or ability to see where it's going. So a lot of people are constantly trying to figure out, did my money get there? Did I put in a wrong number? Did it go to some random person over in China? I have no idea. And so what we've actually been able to do is establish a network of suppliers in Asia and Europe, obviously overseas, to be able to make sure, like, hey, we have worked with these people, and make sure that your money gets to these individuals, but you can pay them, through our own portal and our services. What's also really cool about that is a lot of people don't understand that you have the power of negotiation when you can start sending and paying your suppliers or your warehousing or your virtual assistants in their own currency. And I say that because if they know that you're paying in USD and they want RMB, for example, or they want Hong Kong dollar, whatever that currency is, they're going to tack on a exchange rate fee just for converting it for you. So they're making you pay that end and that fee just so that the convenience of them exchanging that into their own currency to pay their own workers and keep their own money. But when you can have a virtual bank account in that currency, wherever your supplier is or your virtual assistant or your warehouse over there, you can say, hey, what if I pay you in RMB? Can I get a discount of 2 to 3% or whatever that percentage? You instantly get a power of negotiation. And that's kind of the cool process, is that you have a virtual bank account. You can have money sit there. You can send money to that currency through the mid-market rate, which is what everyone pays when they exchange fees. It's just, the fee is for the service provider for us. We are not charging you for that conversion. It's only when you withdraw or put money in. That's where the fee comes in. But if you're saying, hey, I'm going to have RMB bank account and I'm going to pay you constantly with this, can I save myself 2 to 3% on my goods? More often than not, they're going to say, yeah, that's awesome. I'll be more than happy to give you a discount, or you have that power to negotiate. So we're empowering sellers to negotiate with their suppliers. They're saving money when they bring money back to their own domestic currency. And then the other solution that we provide is a Vat registration. So if you sell in Europe, sell in Canada, you have to pay the VAT authorities, which is a special tax that you have to, pay on your goods. We actually, for free, you can actually pay those authorities through our portal, and you can make sure that those entities are getting paid directly from us. So kind of going back to your question, Dustin, of it's super complicated. What do I have to do? Well, we just solved 3 different problems for you just in one dashboard that you don't have to worry about anymore. If that education instantaneously gets nullified by using our services. So that's kind of it's the back end stuff that's not sexy. Like I said, it's not like ordering your products or product listing, but it certainly saves you money, which you can reinvest in your business.
And this is things that I've done personally, trying to sell in the UK marketplace. VAT was super complicated to figure out. I didn't want to figure it out because I was focused on trying to grow the business. So just worrying about that alone is super complicated. You gave some really good tips there. That RMB, where you could save 2 or 3%, that's just more margin you're adding to your business.
Right.
So that right there just makes common sense. If you want to add some more margin to your business, being able to sign up for Ping Pong and pay in that same currency, it'll just add more to the bottom dollar there.
Yeah, for sure.
What's next for Ping Pong? You guys got anything coming down the pipeline? I know you got a lot of cool tools on here on your website. You got Vatzilla, you got the Funds Grabber, the Pay You Go.
Yeah.
What are some other cool things that you guys got coming?
Yeah, so I just got an email about it today where you're able to, in the United States seller, you're able to top up your account, with a ping pong payment. And when I mean top up is that you can send money from your bank account and replenish. Like if I need to send more money to my digital accounts, my ping pong accounts, that feature is now going to be available for sellers here. So that if they just need to add more money of their own, out of their own bank account, put it in there and exchange it, they can do that instead of like only working with the money that's received in it. They can actually put money into it, which is really cool functionality. You can sell and you can actually send in over 100 currencies with ping pong. Like I just learned that today. I was like, that's a ton of current. Like there's so many out there. And when I mentioned you can receive in 10, the reason why that is because there's so many different regulations out there for financial companies. If you can imagine opening a digital bank account, like what first and foremost, it's free to sign up for a ping pong account. Like there's literally no barrier to entry. You can sign up for today on our website for free, and you can start today and like literally start saving money today. There's no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. Just by signing up, you would actually go through a process called KYC, know your customer. You basically are verifying who you are, who you say you are, if that makes sense. So it's like, I am Chris, or I am Dustin. This is my business. This is what I do. I'm verifying myself like with social security number or passport, just like trying to get like a state license or anything like that, so that our entities can say like, yes, you are who you say you are. We do that because it's a safety concern, like, right? Because if bad actors are out there trying to launder money, trying to send it for, I mean, like I had to go through compliance training, guys. This stuff is scary. Like all the different kinds of stuff to keep you sellers safe. We are out here learning about all the bad actors in the world, which is unfortunate, but we have to keep your money safe, and this is how we do it. So through all these verification process, if you get everything loaded in, you can get literally approved today, and then our team of service providers can walk you through how to get your account set up in literally 5 minutes. It's that easy. We do have tips and tricks like to make sure that Amazon doesn't flag you, because everyone's worried about, well, if I change my bank account, are they gonna suspend me? Well, we have like gone through all that stuff. We make sure that you guys are safe and secured, and we don't want you to be, obviously dinged for that. So we suggest, obviously, don't put in different information, bank account information, like 2 to 3 days before you're going to get paid. Amazon be like, that's fishy. Mm-hmm. Let's hold on before we send thousands of dollars to this new entity, because they're like us. They want to make sure money's rightfully going to the right place. The other thing would be to make sure that everything lines up within their like your seller dashboard, and as well as like the ping pong accounts, to make sure that money can go in. It's not pending. It's like it hits your account and it is in your account. So we have like a step-by-step guide, and we call it a white glove service that people will walk with you through individually of, hey, this is how easy it is. Let me make sure everything looks good on your end and our end, and then we'll make sure that you're set to go and you don't have to like remember us basically. But to go back to your original question, Chris, new things we've actually created for customers who just simply ask for it. If you're not just an individual selling on Amazon, we obviously, our functionality, what's really cool about our services is that it doesn't just work for Amazon. It can work if you're invested in, for example, Airbnb, or if you're selling on Shopify, or you're selling in a different marketplace like Rakuten or WooCommerce or any of those things. You can use the same exact bank account if you're selling internationally, then all these different other accounts that you'd be setting up. So you can basically consolidate all of your online marketplace money into one account, which is obviously safe and secure by these banks that we partner with. And by banks, and like I can name drop for you, it's like Citibank and Wells Fargo. These aren't like run-of-the-mill like federal credit bureaus that are down the road that you find in your, like, these are high-end tier 1 banks that are backing your money to make sure it's safe and secured. But the other cool things that our customers have asked us for is, like, if you're a team of like 5 or 6 and you have like an accountant or people who are an assistant that is making payments to people, whether it's paying out employees, paying out your suppliers, or warehousing, you can actually, as an admin, have sub accounts that you can assign rules and functions to all those different employees that under one roof, basically. So they don't have to have a different account. They don't have to have your login credentials, anything like that. You can say like, all right, assistant, you can have, or your VA can have access to reporting. They can have access to send money to these to like your warehouse or supplier, and then that's it. They can't withdraw money, anything like that. You can set those rules up just like that, all these functionalities that you can set. So it's super safe and secure to do that. That was just an ask by one of our major partners. They were just like, hey, can we do this? Is this a thing? And we're like, yeah, why not? So we made sure that those rules and functionalities can happen. I'm trying to think of just making sure that your money's safe and secure, like two-step to authenticate, like making sure, like, are you sure you want to withdraw this money? It hits your SMS message. Verify it through your phone. All these different security functions. That's our number one priority, is making sure people's money is safe and secure. And then obviously, as we grow as a company, the more marketplaces that Amazon gets in, we're going to be right behind them. So I think we're going to be in Turkey here shortly, that we'll be able to, obviously support those who are selling in Turkey. You can receive in the United Emirates, so UAE. That's a marketplace that's really cool that a lot of people are looking at as potential growth. Australia, obviously in India, you can send money and grow in that marketplace as well. So and I would say the last thing would be customer service, because we're an international company. If at any point you have questions or like, oh my gosh, I don't know like how to pay my supplier in the middle of the night here in the United States, you can contact one of our colleagues here and there in China or in India or wherever in the world you are, and they're going to be able to walk you through and it's like, hey, we're going to make sure we get to the bottom of this, make sure that you are at peace of mind, and then that your money is safe and you're saving as much as possible.
Wow. This is a one-stop shop, right?
I like to think so. Like, even though like it's not like you're not logging in every single day. Like, of course, like maybe things like mobile apps, like that would be something I would say like in the future, if I were to guess, like it would be something you can log into, but it's a desktop function. I almost want people to say don't have this be something that burdens you. Have this something that you can set up, save money, and then almost forget about it. Another cool feature that I learned recently is automation of when you're exchanging in foreign rates. Obviously, it's like the stock market, right? The currency's value goes up and down constantly. I mean, it's dollars and cents here and there. But say for example, you're in the UK and all of a sudden Brexit hits. All of a sudden, all of your value of that money that is in Britain instantly goes down because of the uncertainty in like a democracy that has no idea what they're doing, right? So we have rules that you can actually, Amazon pays you no matter what. If you didn't have Ping Pong, they're going to send that money to you every 2 weeks. Like no rules, there's no regulation, or there's no like scheduling. It's always going to be every 2 weeks, right? For us, you can actually say it's going to pay you, but you don't have to transfer that money over instantaneously to your local currency. You can say, hey, once I hit 10,000 euros, I want 8,000 to be transferred back to me, and set that rule. And that functionality happens. So you can say like, once it gets to this much, then that's when I want the transfer to happen. Or if the value of that currency hits a certain amount, then that's when you want that money to be transferred over. So you can set rules and functions of, hey, I think that, this is up to each seller. Hey, I think the euro is going to be stronger in a month or two. I'm just going to let my money sit in there. Like, then it does, and it goes up because the economy starts to take off and the value is stronger. Then that's when you can bring it over. Like, you instantly start saving money that way too. So, it also, like, if you think about, a lot of people don't even think about how often they're sending currencies back and forth. If you're receiving receiving a euro, then you transfer it back to USD, and then you want to resend money over to Europe, like that, you get hit twice with that currency exchange fee, right? If you're doing a bank account, that wire fee gets kicked in there, Amazon's fee gets kicked in there. You're out instantly, probably out like 10% or so, like as a rough estimate. But if you're just letting it sit there in that currency, you can just say, I'm going to let it sit in euro, pay for the things that I want to pay in euro, and just let it sit there. And when I really need money, that's when I transfer it back to my local currency.
That's amazing.
There's a lot of things that you can think about. It's kind of funny to think about money that way.
Well, it's so interesting when you start explaining it, because I had an idea, obviously, of what Ping Pong was, but the scope that you just explained is monstrous. And you've sold me. I am actually going to be going and signing up for Ping Pong.
As you should.
I absolutely.
It's free, guys.
free.
Come on. There's literally, it's free. Like, I know who Dustin Kane is. I know who he is. Just sign up, put all your information in there. I tell my boss, hey, make sure our compliance team checks them out, and he'll be able to set you up. And that's the thing is, like, we have one-to-one people that are constantly walking you as a seller through. Like, you have questions, let me know. Like, and guys, if you're a huge seller, like I say, like 6, 7, 8 figures, you have the ability to negotiate rates not just with your suppliers but with the fees that you accrue like with us. So like the more that you like are sending and receiving with us, you have that power. You will not go above 1%. Like that's the thing, it can go less. And why wouldn't you not take advantage of saving money? It's just the crazy thing about if you're thinking about, oh, like it's thousands of dollars you guys are dealing with. By the end of 2020, we'll probably hit over $15 billion in currency going back and forth in transactions. Like that's a ton of money for a company that's 5+ years old. Like we're continuously to grow. And as you guys, as a seller, I would like to challenge you. If you see yourself growing into a marketplace other than the one you're currently selling in, sign up for us. If you want to save money, sign up with us. If you think you're going to sell on another platform besides Amazon, sign up with us because all your money just goes in one place. You can see, hey, I have money coming in from Shopify in this denomination. I can see it coming in from Amazon in this denomination. Like all these different things are in currencies. If they're coming in from those places, you can actually see everything coming in, and you can start obviously exporting the data into like Excel, any of your business, entities that as we continue to progress, integrate with those, solutions like QuickBooks and things like that, making sure that like all the money that you're saving on a day-to-day basis. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're in it, right? Or that's why sellers are in it, to make money and become free of their 9-to-5 jobs, or just become an entrepreneur, or set money aside for their kids, or do it for fun.
You just removed every obstacle block that I had, and considering going bigger internationally. I mean, that it's amazing because it really was. It was overwhelming thinking about all those things, and to this day, every time I send a bank wire, I hate looking at that fee. It's like a $45 fee or something.
It sucks.
I
did it when my bank was paying me for a house that I sold. I was like, why do you guys have to keep like $100 or something bucks? Like that's ridiculous. That's my money. Like any person goes through it on a date. You do it when you go to a store and you're like, hey, you have to have a certain threshold to use a credit card. Like also ridiculous. Like in my mind, ridiculous. But some people obviously. But like if you are another barrier all knocked down for you, you literally don't have to have a revenue threshold to use us. Like you can be selling $1,000 a month, like on Amazon, to use us on like in a foreign market. You can sell 10,000. Like it doesn't matter. There's no barrier for us to say like, oh, sorry, we can't help you. Like any international seller, if money is going from A to B, like that has to be secured some way, shape, or form. And like even bigger names, like if you think about money in general, like you're sending it to people, there's so many compliance rules and regulations. You want to make sure that you're up to date and constantly just making sure that it's safe and secured. That's what we're trying to do. Obviously, we're an international company. You're going to hear from us more. You're going to see us more. If you have questions on getting even started, like that's kind of where that next step is like everyone's like, I got to get really good at this one thing in my own market before I grow internationally. Well, why don't you just set yourself up for success and start prepping yourself, like working with translation services, working with copywriters to make sure that your products and goods are going to be great in those markets, making sure that you're going to be localized appropriately, making sure you have a business entity there. Because it used to be you would have to have an individual live in that country and have them as like, I am the head of this company in Canada or whatever. And you'd be signing over like your rights and regulations for a citizen in that country. And it's not that way anymore. You can do it from the comfort of your couch, literally right now.
If you're thinking about going international, obviously Ping Pong is the place to start.
We're a piece of the puzzle, guys. We're not the only solution.
Because it is very confusing. There's all these different regulations. And to have somebody in your corner like Ping Pong would just make things easier. So if you're out there and you're thinking about going to international or different marketplaces, it would be a no-brainer just to get a Ping Pong account, just so you have somebody to talk to about VAT or different types of payment options. Just because it's overwhelming and you don't want to get lost in this. You also have a podcast.
I do.
Called Crossover Commerce.
If you guys couldn't tell, I like to talk a lot.
No, you're full of information.
Yeah.
You're full of information. Tell us about your podcast, Crossover Commerce.
For sure. So yeah, Crossover Commerce was like a brainchild of. It was actually started when our China marketing team, like I said, we're in so many different countries. They asked us, like, hey, there's a bunch of Chinese sellers that want to learn just more about, copyright, image protection, protecting images and stuff like that. I would go, that's interesting. Like I didn't think about that. And they started like explaining why it's a big issue. Like, as you guys know, like they just get banned, or like there's just not a lot of, bad actors get overtaken in the news by international sellers, but they're just trying to figure it out. And they might just like copy and paste an image. They're just like, how do we like avoid this kind of stuff? And I was like, well, I mean, I know some people I can reach out, and maybe they'll talk about it with me and we'll like record something on Zoom or do something fun. So I called up my buddy Rob Stanley over at Feedback Wiz, and he was like, yeah, like I know Jeff Schick, of Seller Basics, and like he does this. He's an attorney for e-commerce sellers. So we're like, yeah, I mean, let's just record something fun, and get information out of it, and then we'll send it to the Chinese team. So it was really cool. We did that. We didn't go live like we're doing right now. But I was like, this is really cool. It's like, I like talking a lot about this stuff. Like, I'm not an expert in my field, but I have a really cool perspective. Like, as you know, my background is super weird and unique, and I'm all over the place. But anyways, I know a lot of people that can talk about this kind of stuff. So maybe we should just like start educating people in an unbiased way. Like, I have no ties to them. I'm not getting compensated by anyone. I'm working for a company, but they want to educate people too on how to save money. Maybe I can just like pitch this as a new show. So I came up with my team the concept of crossover commerce, which the name is a play off of like ping pong. Like ping pong by definition is a back and forth game, which is cross-border payments. If it's a fun, unique thing. Unfortunately, we just get a lot of calls for like, hey, where's my ping pong table at? Or can I order a table or whatever? So it's like, if there's a business opportunity out there, like obviously don't steal my URL, but lots of people are calling us about that kind of stuff. So please stop doing that if you're listening. Anyways, like crossover commerce is like a move in tennis. Like you're moving from your dominant position over to something weaker. So by definition, we're trying to explain something that we're really strong at and making people better that they may not know a lot about. I go live almost 2 to 3 times a week, just like you guys. Not as much as this show, but we're on all 9 different platforms for podcasts. It's called Crossover Commerce. It's presented by Ping Pong Payments, but it's really cool stuff. Like I've had people in just different entities. Like obviously we go through copyrights. We did like images and just like kind of law stuff. We went through PigFu, like as they were know, like A/B testing, like why that's important. Had some sit downs with CEOs like Justin Chen of PigFu, and just like e-commerce or the entrepreneur journey. Like how did you come up with a brainchild that's like you're focused in all these different areas? Emma Tamir from Marketing by Emma. I'm talking with Melissa Simonson about today from Empowery. There's a lot of different cool people that have like just been receptive and open to like talk on a topic freely. And that's what we're trying to do, is just educate people. If they take a little bit away from that, it's not a boring webinar. I don't bring people on just to bore people to death with slides. It's just to educate them, kind of have a conversation like what we're doing, and give my unique perspective on it. So that's our show. It's really cool. We've been listened to in 15 different countries already, and I have more to pump out there. But as you guys know, it just takes time, and people are busy, especially in Q4. But I'm super happy how it's going. I think there's a lot of education and great brand awareness, but also just I myself am learning so much from listening to this. So super excited about it. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
I was just going to mention that how fun it is. I mean, it's doing a podcast, going live, meeting people in the space. It's super fun. If we weren't doing this, if you weren't doing this, we would have never connected.
That's true.
I would have never understood more of the power of ping pong. Just that could help my business. It's just sharing knowledge like this is it's super fun. It's entertaining. It's educational, and you can learn a lot. So
yeah. And it's not salesy, guys. Like obviously there's links to their companies and whatnot in the description, but it's not there to like just push something down the listener's throat. It's there to just like educate. Like if you have questions, obviously I let people know, like, this is how you can get in touch with me. If there's a topic you want to touch on, obviously you can reach me and find me. I'm on social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all those different fun platforms. If you have questions and you just want to hear it, like, what we're here to open and educate people on that. Like you said, VAT is like just super, no one knows about it. It's just kind of a weird topic. Like, I just don't know everything about PPC, which is why I reach out to you guys, or like bids and things like that. Like, all stuff that everyone has their own like expertise, but they're not like the guru sense. Like, it's just legitimate firsthand information that they're sharing.
Yeah, I knew VAT was serious when I started getting physical mail to my house, and I was like, "This is."
They'll find you guys.
Yeah, I was like,
they'll find you.
Get a hold of this. So yeah, it was super confusing, but I'm glad that's over with.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the cool thing is, like, when people kind of reach us, they're ready. They're like hungry to grow. Like, as you guys know, like, when people get into that kind of like next tier of selling, or trying to think about it, you're doing something right. So it's like very successful people that we get in touch with all the time. We're just here to help bring that more to fruition and make it easier for you to do that. So yeah, I mean, again, there's other people out there, there's other companies that do what we do. I don't think that they have the customer service that we do. You have people like me, so obviously you can interact with me, our great sales team in California, or all around the world. We'd love to have you guys just like us on social media. I mean, Ping Pong Payments, we're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I go live all the time just sharing information. So we'd love to work with you and save you money as a seller. And then obviously all the different functionalities. And if you ask a question, we can't help you, like, at least, we let us try and let us make sure that you get the best rate. Because if you get a great rate from a bank, fantastic, like, good for you. You're probably crushing it. And like, unfortunately we just can't beat that. But I think what we like to do is say we beat the best rates out there, provide great customer service, are innovative, and we're an international company focused on sellers.
Ryan, that was great.
That
was great. Thanks for coming on.
For sure, guys.
Yeah, that was so much information. And everyone out there listening, check out Ping Pong Payments. Go to the website. Ryan, what do they need to do to sign up?
Website is usa.pingpongx.com. That's our U.S. Base. If you are an international seller, if you're in a different country, there's a drop-down menu of all the different locations that we offer. Like I said, India, all over the world. We can help you out, and they're different looking websites, but our teams put together different solutions for those marketplaces. But if you're here in the United States, usa.pingpongx.com. Literally, you can just click the sign up button and go through the process, create an account, put in all of your information. If you have questions offhand, you can actually go to support@pingpongx.us and ask your questions beforehand. Otherwise, just mention this podcast or mention like this video, and it will find its way to me by our team, and we'll be more than happy to like sort out any questions for you guys.
Amazing.
There you go.
That was so much information that was valuable. I know.
I blow minds, guys. Yep. And if you want to learn more today, come on our channels. I'll be here in a couple hours doing the same thing, talking about something different.
Yeah, so everyone check out Crossover Commerce. You got to check out that podcast, like it, listen to it, leave a review, do the same for us if you can. Ryan, that was amazing, and we'll hopefully be talking to you soon.
For sure. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Ryan.